Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dominate Premade Week 9 matchup between SmonkerZ and Excalibur Eternal. I am your play-by-play, It's Lemons, joined by my constant color is going to be Kofarino. We are ready for this game. We are already going through the drafts very quickly as well. We see Renekton taking off the blue side and the Jax taking off as well. And a support style priority, I guess, here for Excalibur. They take away Bard and Thresh.
Yeah, just targeting the people who have a smaller champ pool so far in this draft, because Renekton is like really the only champion that Bustix plays top, and then Jax is like usually a backup, and then on the other side, Bard and Thresh are like the main things / Landy picks up in the support role. Although the Nautilus that he plays is still open, but with that being said, though, we do have that Ornn first pick locked in.
Yeah, gonna be very strong. It's pretty simple. I feel like we see Ornn first pick every game on blue side nowadays. Set is gonna be the response here from Excalibur, and I actually really like that matchup in favor of Set. If you can get ahead early, if you can get that extra like aggression in against the Ornn, you really make him play on the back foot, and it can go very well for you. Now, I did want to round out the bans here. We did have Xayah as the last ban in the first phase for blue side, and Kled for the red side. So that rounds out the first phase of bans at least. And then the second pick for Excalibur was Volibear, something we don't see very often.
Yeah, because you only ever really see Volibear if he's very overtuned or as a counterpick to Yuumi as a support, which is kind of really niche, and we don't see the Yuumi yet. So this is most likely just going to be a Volibear in the jungle here for XL.
Yeah, I mean, we could see it top. It does have some flexibility as well as with the set, but you know, you see that Kog'Maw lock in, and it scares you just a bit to get any more tanky.
Yeah, and Lulu's still on the board if SmonkerZ wants to do the classic Kog'Maw Lulu. I would kind of expect that Lulu is picked up here, because that's kind of what you have to pick the Kog'Maw with.
Go with the Tahm Kench. Change it up a little bit.
Huh. Because I have seen the Kog'Maw with the Tahm Kench a few times, but
yeah,
the main issue with it is that you have like very little agency in the lane, especially if your enemy picks some very hard bully in the lane like Caitlyn Morgana. That is just devastating as the Kog'Maw Tahm Kench. I've seen it before. Oh my god. It is not pretty.
I have to say, personally, I really don't like to see Kog'Maw Lulu coming back. I never was a big Kog'Maw player, even though I was ADC. I did play him occasionally, but I like the more versatile champions, not the stand still and shoot like a tower champion. It could be fun. Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Dude, I love it when you pop the W in Kog'Maw and you're just like...
You're just sitting there, going to town. Syndra is the last pickup in the first phase there for Excalibur. Trundle was their ban, so they want to take some jungle picks off the tables. Caitlyn going to be banned away from Rando Joe, who mostly plays that champion. Olaf going to be the next ban away from Excalibur, definitely focusing and pinching down that jungle pool, as SmonkerZ have not chosen that position just yet. Going to wait for SmonkerZ to pick their last ban here in this game number 1. Remember, we do have a best of 3 series, so we get to see how this draft evolves over the series, and going to be really interesting at that. Ezreal banned away again, focusing that Rando Joe pool. But I'm sure there's some other options available, and there comes the Varus, the OP poke master, if you go the lethality build.
Lord, yeah. Yeah, the lethality Varus is just so potent, because, I mean, you just don't really have to interact with your lane opponents. Continuously charge up the piercing arrow, it acts as wave clear, and it acts as poke, and you get a very early spike thanks to the early lethality. Or if you want to, you can go Manamune plus lethality just for that extra sustain. Not to mention Manamune gives you that huge amount of attack damage. But that's actually going to be a Karthus jungle lock-in here for SmonkerZ, which is interesting. I have heard Karthus jungle has been making a bit of a comeback, but I didn't think it'd be making this big of a comeback already.
Yeah, it's definitely started to. It's all about how you know the pathing for Karthus and the way that you farm. And that really unlocks a lot and can be a really big deal. I have to say, just a little highlight on the Varus point. Yesterday, I got to watch a Zyra, Lux, and Varus pretty much 3v5 an entire team because of the amount of poke that Varus was able to lay down with the bindings and all the roots and stuff. And it really just emphasize how strong this pick can be now with all the buffs that he's gotten and the builds that he's been able to kind of achieve. And so I'm really looking for Rando Joe to try and pop off on this Varus, because you do have Soulbird on the other side on the Kog'Maw that you cannot let get to a fed state. Now, yes, we did have the Karthus lock-in for the jungle, more than likely for SmonkerZ. Ziggs was the last pickup for them, more than likely going in the mid lane, and Azir was the pickup for Excalibur.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where the hell everyone's going on Excalibur, because what do you do? Because if you put Set or Volibear support, then who's going top, Syndra or Azir? I mean, Azir top maybe into Orange, since
Azir
it might
support?
be a freer scaling matchup. I'm not sure, because this is like one of those drafts where you kind of have to wait for them to actually lock in and then see where the hell they're going before you can make definitive predictions.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. Although, like, the thing is, we may not know where all these champions are going, but you can kind of see where these teams are heading towards strategy-wise, and especially around like the fights, who we think are gonna really be the big names in this game, number one. And I'm really looking at the Varus, I'm looking at the Kog'Maw. The Karthus, honestly, is something I want to see succeed, at least, because it's so hard to succeed early and then still be, you gain relevance as the game goes on, but to get started early on Karthus, you wait till that level 6 and then you try and affect the map. It can be so beneficial, and I want to see SmonkerZ take advantage of that.
Yeah, and SmonkerZ, they also have a hell of a AoE team fight here, because Karthus, just with the E on the Defile, that is a lot of AoE damage. Then, of course, Ziggs' entire kit is AoE damage. Ornn has the Call of the Forge God and the Bella's Breath. And then, of course, Kog'Maw, once he gets the Rune-Ons, that is technically an AoE too of sorts, since you are hitting 3 people with your puke at once. So Smonker's looking like they're just aiming for those huge 5v5 fights.
Yeah, definitely looking that way, especially having that protection with the Tahm Kench going to help them out a lot. They have a lot of squishy champions, so definitely going to be looking at that. But the biggest thing for me is the team for Excalibur. They do have some strengths, but honestly, I really don't like their team going into the team of SmonkerZ. I think SmonkerZ have a lot more safety. They have a lot more obviously higher goals for the carry potential of Kog'Maw, where you need to farm up, you need to get later in the game, but you still have a lot of strength in the team in general, as well as providing a lot of CC for themselves. And so that's going to be really hard for the Volibear, for the set, to really get into the members that matter, including the Ziggs, the Kog'Maw, because you got to get through the Tahm Kench, the Ornn. Meanwhile, Tahm Kench always has the safety of gobbling you up.
Yeah, because the Volibear here for Mowgli is not going to have the most fun of times, because he's going to have to run through the Hextech Minefield, through the Karthus Wall of Pain, not to mention even potentially having to run around a Ornn Volcanic Rupture. So just a lot of things that this Volibear is going to have to dip and dive around, which is going to really affect him, because the more time you spend running towards your enemies as Volibear and not on top of them, you're just taking up more free damage, which doesn't usually work out.
Yeah, you could say that again. Very interested at the spot lane, though, for Excalibur. They look like they're going to go Varus with Syndra down there. And I guess if you want a kill lane, there you go. You got one.
Yeah, I mean, I've played with Syndra supports before, but that was mostly when I was in Premades and our 5th got support and was like, oh yeah, I don't want to do support, I'm going Syndra.
So what you're saying is that's what happened right now with Cage?
Potentially. I mean,
I'm just joking.
it of course does have like a bunch of utility with the Scatter the Weak, and you can get those multi-man stuns and those pretty huge slows, but there's a reason why you do always see the Syndra mid. She needs that solo gold and solo EXP, because she really needs those early item power spikes, not to mention the levels, just so she can actually do damage. And with the support budget, Cage is going to have a much harder time bursting carries, so Rando Joe and Cage, they're really going to have to snowball this bot lane and try and get a kill or two, or at least a massive CS/plate lead during the laning phase. Because otherwise, the Syndra support, I don't know how well it's going to work out, but I'm going to assume that it's just going to fall off the longer we get into the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be something to kind of watch out for. But I do expect Mowgli to try and get started early as well for himself because Karthus, again, as we were saying, wants to farm till 6, wants to farm up for the late game. Maybe make sure to get the Requiem very, very strong. But till then, Bear can do some work, and a fed Bear is going to be a scary, scary champion in this game.
And not to mention that Mowgli, especially early on, he can just run into Jackie Chan's jungle and
Yeah.
just constantly bully him out on this Bear because Karthus can do a decent amount of damage early on, sure, but he has to chuck through a lot of mana for his clear. Not to mention, he isn't really all that tanky on the Karthus, especially early on before you get stuff like the Rod of Ages or like Zonias. So just operating purely off of like a Talisman or Machete, Karthus isn't really gonna win the 1v1s versus Evolve.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun time for sure. Another matchup I wanted to point out, we haven't talked too much about it, is the Azir into the Ziggs. I feel like it's going to be very volatile, can go either way, and especially affected by the junglers also. I do think, as I had pointed out, that Mowgli should probably focus towards bot lane. As you said, they need to get snowballing extremely early, but I still want to see the Azir get some love as well. I know Ziggs is going to be strong no matter what, especially with that kind of free destruction of the tower at 25%. It's going to feel really good.
Yeah, but mid lane might also just degenerate a little into a pure farm lane between these two, since
True.
Azir, pretty decent wave clear, Ziggs, literally the wave clear champion, so it might be hard. Of course, Ziggs kind of susceptible to ganks, even with the satchel, since the satchel is a bit of a delayed escape. And then, of course, Chaperone on the Azir. He does have a more reliable escape in the Shurima Shuffle, but it's, of course, not always up, because if you've just moved your Sand Soldiers, you kind of just have the Shurima scoop.
Yeah, for sure. And with that being said, we are going to send it to a small little break while we get through the spectator delay. Do not go anywhere because we have game number 1 of the Dominate Premade Week 9 matchup of SmonkerZ and Excalibur Eternal. We'll be right back.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear, driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun, feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear, like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun, running, running, no, hold on, don't let go, running, running, no, keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running on.
Welcome back. We are on to Summoner's Rip with SmonkerZ versus Excalibur Eternal for the game 1 of this best of 3. We see a pretty typical line of scrimmage coming out so far for both teams. Not going to see anything too spicy. We do have some very interesting keystones, though, or at least some. The Hail of Blades Azir is definitely one I'm looking at. Haven't seen very much of it, actually, if at all, but can have a good amount of burst with it as well. I would have expected the Arcane Comet for sure, but hey, we'll have to see how it works out.
Yeah, because Hail Blades isn't a rune you typically see. You've only seen it early on a few champs. It's been making the rounds lately, though, with a few more champions picking it up.
Yeah.
I know Kaisa has been specking into it a little. Callista has taken it on occasion, or mostly, depending on how people feel. Then the new Saber Ash build where he goes the Hail Blades Ash. But Azir, not a champ I usually see it on. I mean, I'm curious to see how it works out because, of course, Azir, he loves attacking you, and it is similar to the lethal tempo, except you get it immediately rather than after delay. So it could come with the benefit of the chaperone just being able to trade better thanks to the faster attack speed early on. And it will come at the cost of some scaling compared to the lethal tempo, and it will, of course, be less poke damage compared to the Comet. But if you're able to consistently get Hail of Blades autos off with your Sand Soldiers, it could pay a lot of dividends in the lane, especially since Hail Blades has a fairly low cooldown, if I'm not mistaken.
And during that talk, you saw that we were in a pause. There was a bit of an issue that came up, but solved. We are ready to go. And we see everybody starting to head towards their respective lanes / buffs.
Yeah, nothing too spicy coming out level 1 as expected. Neither team really having the most insane level 1 unless we see a flash from Blustix or Mowgli, but that would have been a little hard and not exactly the easiest to set up. So everybody just doing super standard to farm up, get to lanes. And the most interesting thing to be watching here in this early game, like you mentioned, will be the junglers, because Mowgli the cat, he does have to make this early game work out for this Volibear.
Yeah, he definitely does. You can already see the poke coming down in the bot lane. That is the strength that Varus can have, especially at this level where Kog'Maw doesn't have the range exactly just yet to trade back on him.
Because Kog'Maw has a base auto attack range of 500 without the W activated, which is very noticeable and kind of low for an AD carry.
Yeah.
And you can really feel it.
That's like Callista level, I'm pretty sure, before they buffed her, where I think it's 525 now or something, but it was 500 for her at one point.
Yeah, it's
That just felt
500
so
for
bad.
Lucian, Kog'Maw, and who's the other one? Who's the other one? I'm forgetting. Sivir.
So definitely some big name ADCs there. But seriously though, Excalibur putting the hurt on across the board, as maybe not in the mid lane as much, but top lane, Blustix really getting the better ends of the trades onto Polar Bear minions so far at least. Ornn is a very strong champion in general, but we'll have to see how that matchup kind of goes. We'll see, as well as the spot lane, how aggressive they want to get in lane. But as we have highlighted to many times before already, no action more than likely going to come super, super early. Besides Mowgli the cat trying to get something going, but it looks like he's just farming up for now.
Gonna be getting his team the Scuttle Crab and might potentially be looking top or mid for a gank here. Granted, top is a little too pushed in to gank right now, so although he could meet up with the bot kill here, gonna be spotted out, however.
Yeah, definitely going to be spotted out just a bit. But the biggest thing for me right now is Mowgli the cat really doesn't have anywhere to go for ganking. Even though you want to try and get going early on the Volibear, everybody's pushing in super hard. So you have priority in all these lanes. There's no big objectives for you to take because we're so early in the game, and you can't get those early ganks off to get yourself that extra gold.
It is gonna net him a double Scuttle here, though. And of course, even if the lanes are all pushed and all have prio, that does mean he, of course, can invade relatively safely. Although, speaking of invades, Jackie Chan actually invading on his own to steal away the Raptors while Mowgli is in that bot side.
Getting a little extra farm for the Karthus, as much as you can get. Want to try to hit that level 6 as fast as possible. Help your team out with the Requiem if needed. I do really like the amount of range that the side of SmonkerZ have with their ultimates, at least. You have a ton with the Mega Inferno Bomb. You have a ton with the Requiem. Even the Horn of the Forge God is super long ranged. And then you always have the Biocane Barrage coming through the Kog'Maw. And then when you look at the side of ultimates for Excalibur, you just have some very, very hard-hitting / like displacement abilities here. And so it's going to be really interesting once we hit those level 6 marks. But there, Rando Joe is still almost full health. Meanwhile, Solbert's having a real rough time in lane.
And that's just the dynamic of this lane right here. The Tahm Kench is really not able to provide anything in terms of lane pressure here. Oh, the stun lands.
That's going to be the E, and it's going to still land the slow. Here comes the arrow. It's not going to be enough. Rando Joe really wanted that kill. He's going to look to try and pick up /1 Andy, though, and not going to be able to. But still, showing that they have the power and making sure that the enemy knows that they cannot step up.
Yeah, and that's just the range differential here. And we even saw there at the end of that play, both the Bodkill and Jackie Chan were kind of shuffling towards that bot lane for a potential 4 versus 2 there. But that's just the pressure Joe and Cage are already bringing out on these 2 picks. And this is what we want to see right now, the 20 CS differential between these 2 carries, and potentially some plates soon. But that might be
the Empire
shuffle.
Yeah, Shroom Shuffle comes through, and the beautiful toss back. That just feels so bad. First blood going to the Chaperone.
And that is huge, because the Chaperone is going to be the late game DPS for his team. Because Lethality Varus, he does bring a lot of damage, but it is all in that poke, and not exactly that consistent damage you see from like an on-hit Varus. But Azir, he brings a lot of damage, and getting him this early kill is absolutely massive, and potentially this early Earth Dragon too will be absolutely huge as well, just to help start stacking up the resistances for Mowgli and Bluestix.
Yeah, it's going to be a great addition to everything they just got. And I have to say, if you wanna tilt somebody, you hit them with the Emperor's Divide, and then you hit them with the Rolling Thunder from Volibear, and they just can't get out. And you saw right there, it was actually a little bit of a perfect situation where Mowgli the cat tossed him over the Emperor's Divide to where he couldn't get back to his turret. So just great synergy already being shown by this mid jungle duo for the side of Excalibur.
And we're going to want to see more of that this game, since if we keep seeing the lane situations that we have been seeing, bot lane is not going to be the easiest for Mowgli to gank purely out of. I mean, they're going to be under their tower the entire time. And top lane, if it's the same pushing situation, it's going to be a similar thing. And it's kind of hard to dive a Ornn.
That's a very deep TP coming through from the Chaperone at mid lane, but hey, he gets in and not going to take too much help either. But yeah, it seems like the tables have kind of turned in the top lane. Polar Bear Minion having the aggressive push now. That makes me wonder if Mowgli is actually going to make his way up towards this top lane and try to get this Ornn a little bit further behind.
And that is one huge advantage Ornn has in this matchup, because if you look at the inventories right now, neither top laner has back, but of course, since Ornn has the Forge God passive, already on double Ruby Crystal and that Chain Vest, which is giving him a huge amount of resistances and bulkiness to help him weather out the storm that Bluestix is putting out. And Bluestix...
So that is really weird to me, Go Frito. You're sitting in with 2,400 gold in your pocket, and you're starting to lose your lane because you're still up in CS, but the trades are not going your way because he actually has items. When do you go back and buy your items here?
I would say right now.
There you go. I like it. Hey, great minds think alike. But I feel like that's a lot of gold to hold in your pocket for a top laner.
It is going to net a lot, though, since we see the Merc come out for Bluestix. That's going to help him deal with a lot of the magic damage. Not to mention the recurve bow, just for that early damage as well. Although the recurve bow plus dagger...
Oh, Shurima shuffle! That's again! It's Chaperone coming in clutch with the shuffles. Here comes the Chains of Corruption. It's going to land. Cleanse is going to be used by Soulblood, but maybe a little bit late as he gets chunked down, and Chaperone making his name known in this series.
That piercing arrow landed, that would have been a 2 for 0, but
huge
run coming up from the Chaperone, and Mowgli finds a skeleton.
He's going to have to be careful, though. He's getting very low, but that's going to be a ton of damage. Mega Inferno Bomb coming through. Ultimates everywhere. This is the Wombo combo here from the entire team almost. And it's going to be Blustic who has to run away. Showstopper's going to get the angle towards his tower. He's going to be able to get out of there.
Yep, a 1-for-1, although that does favor the side of SmonkerZ there, since they did get more assists off of that, not to mention helping this Karthus get a little bit more. Granted, the kill did go to the bot kill on the Ziggs, but Ziggs scales fairly well himself, just the amount of AoE damage he can put out and just insta-clear waves. But it also applies to team fights too.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that damage from the Hail Blaze is pretty strong, actually. Just for that like little extra poke burst, I think I would have still liked Arcane Comment, but you can see where the mindset is.
Yeah, because when Chaperone, he has 2 or 3 Sand Soldiers down, if he just goes in with the Shifting Sands, that's just 3 rapid-fire autos instantly on the bot kill, and that is a lot of damage in quick succession. Ooh, Solbert. Let's be a little careful.
Yeah, definitely play it on a knife's edge there, as Polar Bear Minion and Blustic's going to go back at it. Jackie Chan has arrived. Looks like Blustic is going to be in some serious trouble. Yeah, I don't think you have it this time, as the clap's going to come through in just a second. He's actually trying to give it to Jackie Chan as Polar Bear Minion. You should have just taken the kill. Now you have to burn your flash, and he gets out, but it doesn't matter. You have that safety. You have the Requiem.
Silver lining, though, for Blustix, he was able to buy a lot of time there and waste a lot. Ooh, Cage.
Oh, nice little behind Tri-Bush gank here. He's waiting to get the Rolling Thunder off. Not going to be able to, as Rando Joe picks up the snipe. That's a double kill for the ADC of Excalibur.
Oh, man. And Chaperone, he finds the Ziggs.
That's going to be Chaperone getting in some serious trouble. They had all the Sand Soldiers, but was not able to make it work there, but gets out with his life. So I think you take those.
Yeah. That's just the power of being in the center of that Mega Inferno Bomb. Because holy moly, if you're right in the center, kind of does a lot of damage. Mowgli, though, is eyeing up this mid lane. The bod kill does have the flash, though, has the satchel. Probably okay. Well, that was all happening. Jackie Chan able to solo out the Herald for his team. So nice little objective here for SmonkerZ. They are going to appreciate that since they are a bit down so far. But that is Dragon priority on this Infernal for Excalibur.
Yeah, and their objective burn is seriously strong. Both sides are, but I really like Azir for the objective takes. And they already have 2 dragons. It's going to be an Ocean Soul, so you get those nice little lo-fi beats while you study. But we get a lot of healing on this team if they get the Soul
Jackie.
Here. And Jackie has arrived again, looking for Blustix. This time it is going to be a kill going over. Actually, Showstopper going through again. He's going to get out the fancy feet. Can you dodge the Skittles? But it might be all she wrote. He's going to try to run away. The flash forward. The Skittles are going to do it. He can't get it. The knock up there. It's going to be Polar Bear Minion finally picking up that kill. Learned their lesson from last time, not taking that auto attack, trying to give it to Jackie Chan. Just goes ahead and takes it this time.
Poor Blustix. That's now the second time he's been subject to a gank there, and it's really been swinging this lane so far in the favor of Polar Bear, because now Polar Bear is the one with the advantage in terms of gold thanks to all those ganks. But credit where credit is due, Blustix is at least wasting a lot of resources when they do gank him, because the first time we saw that gank, he traded flash for flash, then forced out the Requiem from Jackie Chan, which is a very long cooldown. And then this time around, that was a huge waste of time he was able to put out.
Oh, Chains of Corruption are ready. That's the Rolling Thunder. You're done. Rando Joe is on a rampage here. Flashing the mastery is Cage. Just wants to let them know where they stand. /1 and he's going to try to run for his life. It's a Catfish on the run. The bear is not going to get it. You win this time, Catfish.
Darn. Not able to keep up. But that is a first tower here in the bot lane for Excalibur. 4-0 this Varus right now for Rando Joe. And if you take a look at the gold differential, that is like, what, 2,300 gold between these two AD carries? That's massive. That's nearly an entire Zeal item. Oh, Jackie Chan is able to snipe this back.
Yeah, he's going to be able to take it and be able to pick up the kill. The kill's actually going to go over to Solbert. Now the power unleashed is just going to melt Jackie Chan there. Requiem's going to come out as a bit of a last-ditch effort. Now in the top lane, it's actually Blustix being traded up on. Not going to see anything too crazy up there, though. as we return after that chaos.
Yep, chaos for sure. A 1-for-1 in the jungle over a
Rando
Zero.
Joe, he's got the secret alcove gank for the ADC. Oh my goodness.
It is Arctic Ops Varus.
Oh no, this is gonna be great. He gets the chance of corruption. Oh, and he beautifully stops the charge forward. The showstopper is gonna come through. That's gonna be Polar Bear Minion going down to Rando Joe. And that is one thing I have seen in this game. They are just shoving this gold into Varus's pockets.
Yeah, and it's paying off so far. Granted, this Varus is going to fall off a bit in the late game when it comes to team fights, but he won't be falling off too much in terms of poke. Right now, 5-0 with 2 fully completed lethality items. You look at
Blastix. Yeah, he wants to go in. He's just going all the way in. That's Haymaker. That's a not fed Kog'Maw he finally has to pull off as everything is coming down onto Blessings. He's going to have to be careful. Haymaker is available. Shurima Shuffle isn't as well. He's just going for the damage. He doesn't care. Chaperone have it. Here comes the Emperor's Divide. As now he might have actually doomed Blessings. The heal coming through is going to save him, though, as a double kill comes through for the Chaperone. And I said they were force-feeding gold into the Varus. They're doing the same thing for the Azir. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's going to be a Rift Herald charge, getting down that tower just a bit, but not going to be able to secure it.
Yeah, it is going to take a huge chunk out of that tower. Keep in mind, though, during all of that craziness in the top lane, Joe was able to secure a solo tower for himself. So now 2-0 is the tower lead here for Excalibur, and that's just so much more gold going into this Varus's pocket. Meanwhile, Sulbert and /1 Andy.
Oh man.
They died in the bottom lane.
Jackie Chan. And what's so funny is they took the Mowgli took the blast code over the wall so Jackie Chan couldn't see him there. But on the bot side, Bustix is going to be able to pick up a kill. He's going to go down afterwards. Still gonna give him a run for their money though. Polar Bear Media not sure if he wants to go all the way in. Is going to get the Mega Inferno Bomb. That's going to be a ton of damage going down. You stood right in the middle of it, Bustix, realizing that was your end.
Yeah, pretty insane though, because that was a 0-2 Blastix going in 1 versus 2 and picking up a kill. Sure, Silver pretty behind on this Kog'Maw, doesn't even have that full item, but still.
That's exactly what I was going to point out. It just shows how behind the bot lane is for SmonkerZ here.
Yeah, because Blastix, he doesn't even have that much. The Wit's End, sure, that's a lot of damage, but it's just a bunch of magic resist in that attack speed with the on-hit, so...
You do see a bunch of pinks coming down here. Gonna have SmonkerZ starting up the dragon here, maybe trying to secure their first dragon. Not gonna have a contest coming out from Excalibur, so they're just gonna concede that one and get a little bit of extra health regen for the side of SmonkerZ here as they reset on the map. Meanwhile, Chaperone full took a tier 2 tower on the top side, and that is not what you want to see.
Mm-hmm. Granted, the ocean will pay off in the long run if this game does extend long enough here for Smonkers, because that gold is temporary. But
Rando Joe missing the chains of corruption, not able to secure it. He was going to get that kill if he did, but not this time around.
Unfortunately for the Varus. Either way, though, this does mean a relatively free Rift Herald here for the Excalibur team. 4 members on it, just wailing away. There is a little bit of a potential contest coming out from Smonkers. They have 4 members of their own in the area, but not able to do anything before it goes down.
And this will be the second Rift Herald, the first one taken by SmonkerZ. This one taken by Excalibur. And going to have to decide where they want to use it, as they don't have any towers. The outer tower in the mid lane is available, but it's going to be a little bit rough, and they decided to just go for it.
Just able to clear out the wave instantly with a piercing arrow and the Syndra combo. No Ziggs in the mid lane either, so it's just going to be a tower picked up with this Rift Herald. I don't think it's going to get a second charge off here, because it's already pretty low.
No, that was so close. They were going to get it on the charge, though, because the auto attacks still go through mid-charge, so it would have worked out either way. But everybody just kind of going back to farming. Don't want to press anymore. It is Excalibur have taken all of the outer towers here to no towers taken for the side of SmonkerZ. So they're definitely feeling good. They have a good gold lead. They are in the driver's seat in this game.
Yeah, and it's all because of the differential in the bot lane drafting here, because the Syndra support is really wonky, but it does work out in this situation because it gives you that much more damage in the bot lane. So they're able to just push that so hard in the bot lane, is able to get them a huge lead there, put the Kog'Maw behind, not to mention get early Dragon Prio. It's just worked out really well for Excalibur so far. But they are on a bit of a timer this game in terms of DPS, since support Syndra, we've kind of seen it in a lot of these fights where Cage, he doesn't really have enough damage to burst people out, even with a ultimate. So it's really going to come down to the chaperone in the late game team fights.
Yeah, I think it's more of the a stun bot now for the Syndra, which is not something you usually say. It is a weird concept that Syndra is not effective. Chains of Corruption, gonna land on /1 Andy. You might not want to face check those bushes as the catfish dies in the river.
Yep, very easy pickup, even with how tanky a Kinch can get.
That's gonna be a Baron. You have Azir, you have the Fed Varus. That's just gonna be a Baron going down to Excalibur. Gonna have to see if they want to contest here. They have Mega Inferno Bomb, gonna do a good amount of damage. They're running this way. Karthus is there as well. The Baron is burning though. 4,000 health. Gonna have to see if they can fight it off. They want to back off after all that time. You could have just backed off the whole time.
Requiem is available. It could get Cage here, actually, and that is one important thing here about the Baron, just that AoE magic resist debuff on all the members, especially when you're against Ziggs, Karthus, and Kog'Maw. Ooh, that is going to be a rough time, buddy. And you kind of don't want to get trapped in the pit with that debuff and a Karthus just constantly with the defile turned on.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing there is looking at the strength that the Requiem can have and seeing where it'll go. The biggest stopper of the Requiem, though, is going to be stopwatches and Zanya's. And Cage does have a stopwatch in his inventory available to him, just in case something goes a little awry. Bot lane tower is going to fall to the minions, though. That's going to be first tower going over to SmonkerZ.
Yep, nice little pickup of gold there for them, even if it was accidental and they don't get the local gold. Still, they are 6k gold down right now, so they'll take what they could get, especially since there is another Ocean Dragon spawning here in 30 seconds. Thankfully, since they got the last one, this won't be soul point here quite yet for the side of Excalibur. They still need those 2 more in order to get it.
Yeah, so at least a little bit longer till they're able to secure that if they can. Cage and poke out Polar Bear minion, but it looks like still Azir in the top lane, does have TP if he wants to join the fight. That's going to be big. TP's coming through now. They just want to go for it. Mowgli the Cat's going to go in. Chains of Corruption going to land. That's a really weird interaction there. Is the Shurima Shuffle in the backside. That's going to put Jackie Chan right into the middle of it. Here comes the Horn of the Forge God, but it's not going to do much. Cage going down. Requiem is going to be there. Stopwatch is too early. That was too early. Cage, you got to use it better, as the Requiem is going to clean up a kill, but it is 3 for 1 right now in favor of Excalibur, and they are going to be able to take this dragon, move up to Soul Point, and secure an even bigger lead for themselves.
Absolutely massive fight there. 3 for 1, like you said, now with the Soul Point as well. And that fight, it just kind of goes to show the differential in the gold right now. Beautiful flank by the chaperone there, and a beautiful pick out onto /1 Andy there. Really starting off the fight very well there for Excalibur.
It feels so bad because I just highlighted about like the stopwatches save you for the Rec Room, and it just doesn't work out for Cage, and now just maybe I cast a curse it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what happened. I'm sorry, Cage. I apologize. Please forgive me. As Mowgli the Cat's gonna get spotted out in the enemy jungle here, taking the blue, but Jackie Chan's gonna arrive to take it away.
Just gonna skedaddle on off here on the bear. And one thing to point out is if you look at the item inventories for everyone in Excalibur right now, they have a lot of magic resist built up already. There's the Wit's End, the Adaptive Helm, the Banshees, and a Hex Drinker already completed for them with an extra Null Magic Mantle on Cage. So that is going to go a long way in deterring a lot of the damage that comes out here from the side of SmonkerZ.
Yeah, and lead has gotten to about 6k here for the side of Excalibur. It's still Farm Fest 2020 for the side of SmonkerZ, trying to get Jackie Chan to that level 18 mark. The Kog'Maw feeling pretty bad, a little bit behind on XP, at level 11 still. as well as Slash One Andy still level 9. So definitely feeling the hurt, as that's 6 levels down on Bluesticks. Obviously, the top laner, solo laner, is going to have a lot more XP, but you shouldn't be that far behind. So these fights are going to feel even worse.
God, yeah, because Solberg doesn't even have the second item completed on this Kog'Maw. And this is just a 2-man Baron coming out from Excalibur.
That's
Bluesticks does have the teleport.
Yeah, Mega Inferno Bomb's going to do a lot, but it's not going to matter. Secured by the Chaperone.
Yeah, and kind of a bit close there without the smite coming out from Mowgli, if I'm not mistaken. Still, though, a Baron here for Excalibur. It's going to be pretty damn huge, and they can use that to open up this game a ton. Because one of Ziggs's biggest troubles is dealing with those Baron minions and all their extra range and that extra damage reduction.
Second tower taken by SmonkerZ, though. Able to get a little bit of gold in their pockets. Oh, no. Bluesticks. Oh, he was just running at him. Honestly, I was expecting the showstopper to come out on the Tom Kench, but not going to use it. Didn't want to go all in. But they are 5-man stacking in the mid lane to push with this Baron buff. Looking to maybe split it up a little bit or continue to push this mid. The wave clear, though, is real, as you had highlighted earlier in the game.
Yep. Even with the Baron damage reduction, I guess I was a bit off. I guess Ziggs actually still does a lot of damage to Baroned up minions. I could have swore.
Shurima Shuffle is going to get the ADC, but he survives just a little bit longer. Mega Inferno Bomb come down and dissuade any further follow-up by Excalibur. Solberg gets out, but Slash One Andy gets put in the dirt.
A very easy 1-for-0, and they weren't even able to get anything back here for SmonkerZ, so they lose their support and they lose their mid-inner. That is very hard in terms of blows taken so far, and the gold lead is just extending even further here for Excalibur.
Yeah, the Chaperone with the Shurima Shuffles is on point. I mean, he has literally gotten these kills for his team almost every time he has been on the screen. And it's just so impressive to see the mechanical skill coming out from the Chaperone. We had high hopes for him going into this game. He's definitely showing up this time around.
Because we haven't seen him have to use a Shurima Shuffle defensively yet this game. Just able to use that offensively to start off fights with the Emperor's Divide. And we've seen the Chaperone start off more fights than Bluesticks and Mowgli, which is kind of a weird thing to say. I mean, Azir definitely a good playmaking champion, but you don't expect him to be the sole engage every fight.
Yeah, it has been so far this time, as going to see a bit of a reset coming out from Excalibur. With their Baron buff, they're going to continue pushing down these lanes a bit. You do have Dragon coming up. It is sole point for Excalibur, so if they're able to pick this up, it might just be the nail in the coffin here if they are able to. But Karthus is right around. You got to wait to see if the Bod Kill wants to go. I think he's just waiting to TP, as it does look like, yep, he's going to come into the mid lane, try and clear that out a little bit before the fight starts. Just going to head straight here as the Dragon is spawning. Mowgli the cat is right around the back. We're about to get a big fight.
Oh, yeah, and we even see another Ornn item coming out here for Jackie Chan, but this is going to be a very hard fight here for SmonkerZ.
They've started it up. Here comes the Horn of the Forge God. Oh, no, but that's Slash One Andy just channeling his ultimate there the whole time. He's not able to save anybody as Jackie Chan is going to go down. That's going to be the Shurima Shuffle coming through from the Chaperone on the backside. Slash One Andy gobbles up Bluesticks, but it doesn't matter. Rando Joe has to flash over the wall. Polar Bear Minion putting on some work on the ADC, but doesn't have the damage to follow it up on the Bluesticks, and that is going to be a slowly but surely dead Ornn here as the showstopper comes through. Now it's the 1v1 between the mid laners. Chaperone, oh no, it's not going to make it as the snipe tries to come through from Rando Joe, not going to be able to land it, and the Dragon is going to be started. All that is left is the Ziggs, the flash forward from Bluesticks. That is the ace going through for Excalibur and the Dragon Soul.
And what started off as a potentially promising fight for SmonkerZ just absolutely fell apart the further we got into that fight, because it started off immediately with Cage getting bursted and taken down, and then a lot of other members on the side of Excalibur dropping fairly low, but just flashes to keep him safe, not to mention all the backline havoc we saw coming in from the Chaperone and from Mowgli, really paying off that fight. And now with the Ocean Soul here for Excalibur, this game is probably a done deal when you combine that with a 10,000 gold lead.
Yeah, Rando Joe just picked up a stopwatch. So looking to make the little flex plays here on the ADC position. Obviously needed it last fight, as he got soloed out there by Polar Bear and was able to flash over the wall and get away. But yeah, just a great fight coming out from Excalibur. The biggest issue I saw there for SmonkerZ, and it's not to say maybe it was a misclick, maybe something the communication wasn't there, but /1 Andy used Abyssal Voyage in the middle of the fight, and maybe it was going to go like maybe 10 units away, but he sat there channeling it the whole time as the fight was ensuing and didn't stop it and goes through the ultimate so that he comes out on the underlane, wasted about like 15 seconds during that huge fight that was going on, not able to gobble up his allies, not able to save anybody, and it really cost his team in that fight. And so that could have been a turning point there. They started it off very, very well. They had a good engage, but the follow-up just was not there.
Yeah, sadly, no one is immune to fat fingers, and that was probably the case there, unless /1 Andy wanted some sort of sick backline access that fight. That was a potential thing too, but with the awkwardness of it and just how long it was held, there was some form of miscommunication or fat fingers going on.
Yeah, it definitely had to be, but gonna have to see how Excalibur want to try and close this one out. They have a huge gold lead, over 10,000, but they have to pick their poison on how they want to finish it out.
Probably gonna just be Baron into a 1-4-0 push or even just a 5-man mid push. SmonkerZ, they want to hope this out and see if they can test, but keep in mind they are really, really down right now in the golden. This would be a monumentally difficult fight for them to take. Their best hope is the magic resist debuff and Jackie Chan. Oh, there's the chain.
Cage is getting very low. Mega Inferno Bomb has to be flashed out. It's Jackie Chan on the backside trying to take down Cage and Rando Joe, but he's going to get stunned up, taken down. That's Mowgli the Cat in as well. Requiem's going to come down. How much is he going to do? Not anything. That is the gold difference that we see there. Not able to accomplish anything with that. /1 Andy looking to take down Rando Joe. Cage going to save his life, though, as Rando Joe is godlike.
Rando Joe actually unintentionally canceling that Abyssal Voyage there from /1 Andy. So it looks like he didn't know that happened. Either way, though, clean 4-0 in the favor of Excalibur, and easy Baron pickup coming right now.
Yeah, meanwhile, you have everybody pushing. They're going to get the Baron empowered minions as well as soon as this goes down. And they are just taking turrets left and right. I'm sure they're going to try and get a little bit of a reset here after this because that Baron took them down very, very low. But they decide to continue going. They want to go straight into the base as you do have a bit of a defense being mounted here. Respawn timers are coming up. So it does look like they are just going to go ahead and reset.
Yep, they are able to get only one inhibitor off of that, actually. Still, though, very massive because you're just going to constantly have that 6th champion pushing that mid lane for you and allows you to just focus purely on the side lanes here. It's Chaperone. He does have the teleport available on this Azir if he wants to split, or we might even just see everybody group up here. But it is most likely just going to be a very huge push here for Excalibur while they wait on that Elder Dragon to spawn.
Yeah, I guess they're just going to wait for the killing blow of the fiery dragon breath to finish the game out here. As you see them actually focus down to this bot lane. Soulberry needs to be careful. He's a bit up in front there. As it has 3 members. Doesn't know they're there, obviously, but /1 Andy going to get slowed up here. Chains of Corruption going to miss from Rando Joe. Not going to be able to connect that one there, as they are going to continue to try and push this with the Baroned up minions. They're getting a nice 4-1 split push going here, as they already have super minions in the mid, so you don't need to really focus on that. You want to try and take down the inhibitors that are still there. Oh my goodness, that's half health on Soulbird from 1 max range Q. That was rough.
Yeah, that's lethality varies for you, especially when he's this far ahead and basically full build. Nothing he can really do. And with 3 inhibitors down and supers already pouring into this base with that Baron buff, I don't think there's much longer left here for SmonkerZ. They're going to have to put up one final fight here, but we've seen what happens the past few team fights.
Oh, cleanse coming out from Soulbird is still going to get a bunch of damage out. That's just going to be game. They just want to end it out. That is game number 1 going over to Excalibur Eternal.
Yep, and what a game it was. They're just able to get a lead and slowly steamroll their way through the game as they snowballed it higher and higher throughout that game. And it culminated in what we saw eventually with that full Ocean Soul, the Baron buff, just that massively 26-7 in kills.
Yeah, that was a game. Unfortunately for side of SmonkerZ, it did not go in their favor whatsoever. They started losing early on and never really were able to pick back up. As you see, Solbert, 2.5 items there. That is just a really rough time for a Kog'Maw. Never was able to get to that point where we all know Kog'Maw can get to, and just a huge game coming out from Excalibur, especially the bot lane and the mid lane. Chaperone 6-0-7, Rando Joe 7-0-9, carrying their team for this game number 1. But looking at that damage chart, Ziggs was doing some work there for this side of SmonkerZ.
Yep, and a lot of that is just from how constantly pushed in they were, and him just having to constantly throw out those bouncing bombs. It does rack up a lot of poke damage, but props to Bod Kill, however, because he ended the game positive, which isn't something you can say for most of the rest of his team. It was a rough game, and I feel like if they're gonna have to look back at the draft this game because they kind of got hard countered in it, especially in the bot lane. I feel because they locked into Kog'Maw Tahm Kench very early on in the draft and kind of just opened them up to get hard countered there. And we saw what happened there with Rando Joe and Cage.
I really think it comes down to the draft for SmonkerZ. They gotta change something up. That was not the draft for them, apparently. As you have an 0-8 Tahm Kench, the 1-7 Kog'Maw. Gotta change something up in the bot lane, but the Karthus didn't really mesh very well with the rest of the team. Honestly, I thought the Ornn and the Ziggs did very well, but the rest of the team really wasn't there to kind of have their back. Now, with that being said, we're going to sit through a small little break while we get ready for game number 2. Do not go anywhere because this is going to be a hype game.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear, driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear, like an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, no. Keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, no. Keep running.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dominate Premade Week 9 matchup between SmonkerZ and Excalibur Eternal. We had Excalibur Eternal taking game number 1 extremely convincingly. Gonna have to see what SmonkerZ have in their trump cards here for game number 2. As Excalibur ban away the Bard, Thresh, and Kled on the blue side, and we see the Renekton, Jax, and Azir taken out from SmonkerZ.
Yeah, the Azir was absolutely clutch last game because we saw just the amount of early game work and late game and mid game work even that was coming out from the chaperone on that pick. Just all those plays he was making with that Emperor's Divide. Or what is it Emperor's Divide?
Yeah, it's Emperor's Divide as they build. Shruma Shuffle is the combo to get behind them and use it.
I was just like really confused for a second because I could have swore the Disney movie was like Emperor's Divide for a second. I'm like, wait, no, that's Emperor's New Groove. Okay, so it is Emperor's Divide. I'm like,
oh, do we have some spice going into draft number 2? So Volibear was picked up as the first pick in the blue side, and Set and Varus were the response from SmonkerZ, so stealing away those 2 picks from the first game from Excalibur. Gonna have to see if Rando Joe wants to show Solbert how it's done here, though, on the Kog'Maw, as they are going to. This is a little bit of a troll pick. Skarner locked in, though. What? That's a bit wonky.
The hell? Okay. So we might be seeing Volibear top, actually, unless they want to flex it to support, or put Skarner top. I kind of doubt that due to the whole crystals thing. Either way, though, the Ezreal locked in here for Excalibur. That is going to be a lot of safety for the AD carry in the bot lane.
Yeah, it definitely is, and really interested to see what they want to pair with it, as the Olaf was the pickup for SmonkerZ. Yuumi is going to be banned out as soon as they saw the Ezreal, so don't want to give that power duo over just yet, as Excalibur going to be next on the ban table. They take away maybe the Vel'Koz, which would be a bit different. I might just be a hover there. Veigar is going to be the ban away for them.
Yeah, Veigar is kind of a huge denier pick, especially if your composition is rocking the Volibear Skarner. So smart taking away the baby cage, because you kind of can't run through it.
Yeah, and makes it a little bit rough to work out there, but could have been a very strong combo. Cassiopeia going to come off the board for SmonkerZ. In the last ban of this game number 2, Kassadin going to be the last ban for Excalibur. Going to have to see how these teams want to put their rest of the compositions together for themselves, as we are on the board for SmonkerZ.
Just a lot of mid lane bans so far in this draft, with 4 total bans. 5 if you want to include kind of Renekton, because we see him mid sometimes as a counter pick. Zilean. So most likely going to be going in the support role, I would assume, but could also be mid.
Yeah, going to provide a lot of safety for his team, but as well as a little bit of damage once you get a couple of those items, depending on where you go. If it is going to be a support Zilean, then things turn out a little bit different, but the AP Zilean in the mid lane can be pretty strong, depending on who plays it. As Galio is going to be the pickup here for Excalibur. Man, what are these drafts this time around? I mean, SmonkerZ have a little bit more of like a normal draft, but man, Excalibur Eternal turning up the spice.
With the beefy boys, because Volibear, Skarner, and Galio, those are some big lads right there.
Yeah, they definitely are, and all the engage followed up by the hero's entrance from Galio. And then you have the semi-global from Ziggs. Man, that is going to be a strong composition for Excalibur if they can hit their points and their skill shots, that is. As we're going to have to wait for SmonkerZ for their last pick to really start dissecting these teams.
Because Smonkers, they can do a lot to round off the draft here, because there is potentially either mid or support open, and it's going to be the Corki in the mid lane, it looks like. So support Zilean with the Varus Corki as carries. That is going to be pretty potent, the double 80 carry once we get into that late game. Although, it might just be lethality Varus, so going to be similar situation to last time, but we did see what happened last time when the lethality Varus got rolling.
Yeah, and what a force in the game it was. But gonna be on the other end of the spectrum this time, or on the other end of the board, I guess. As Solbert's gonna be the one piloting that instead of Rando Joe. Gonna have to see if he does a little bit better than he did on the Kog'Maw. I did really like the Kog'Maw hover though. Kind of just playing little mind games for the side of Excalibur. Just wanted to get under their skin a little bit more than they have from the first game, and you gotta love a little bit of that extra action there. But I have to say the composition did not turn out the way I thought it was going to for SmonkerZ. I did not expect the Corki to come out.
Corky was definitely a bit of a left field pick there, and we'll have to see how the bot kill is able to deal with Chaperone in the mid lane, because Corky doesn't have the best wave clear. He has okay wave clear, but it is against a Ziggs mid who is kind of the wave clear king. And speaking of wild ones,
Skarner top lane, all right, does have the Spire up there, I believe.
Did they add a new one in the alcove?
I want to say yes, but maybe not. We'll have to see. It's been a while since I've casted a Skarner, so we'll definitely see. But I would have rather seen the Volibear in top lane against the set, and the Skarner in the jungle being able to affect everywhere, not the other way around. So they could still switch. We still have trades available, but normally with this setup, you usually try and lock in where you're going. So we'll have to see where they want to, or if they want to do anything different with it or with that pick. But hey, it can still be that very strong pick as well. It does have that extreme suppression with the ultimate, and it's going to work pretty well. You can't use it on the Olaf. The Ragnarok will come out immediately. But the set, the Corki, they are going to be some good targets as well, since set has to run at you and will be a prime available target for that ultimate.
Granted, with the ultimate from Skarner, you can still use the Zillion Chrono Shift on whoever gets ultimate hit by that ultimate, so it is a little bit of a silver lining, and you can't just instantly burst whichever carry you grab out as a Skarner. Granted, I mean, if they revive, they're still going to be reviving in the middle of your team, so it might still be a fairly done deal for whoever does get you in.
That is very true. As we're rounding these out, is going to be the Galio support with the Ezreal. So a bit different, I feel like. I haven't seen the Galio very much. Might have an issue.
What? Was there an error in...
Nobody said anything. Nope, it was an error in the draft. That feels real bad.
Yeah, it does look like we are having PC issues for the support cage.
It does seem that way, but we have some strong compositions for both sides. A better draft, I feel like, for SmonkerZ. A little bit more diverse in the damage. And I want to see if they can make it excel this time around.
Yeah, because it is certainly a better draft this time around, because they don't have a glaring this lane will automatically lose. Although, I'm not entirely sure about the top lane, because I don't know how most Skarner top matchups go. I have at least heard of it. There are some players who do go the Skarner top, but it's kind of rare and only for one tricks usually. So it is going to be very interesting to see how Blustix plays the Skarner and with what rune he goes, because I do think Skarner top does have a few options in terms of keystones he can go. Granted, take this with a grain of salt, because I'm by no means a Skarner expert nor a Skarner top expert.
I want to see Hail of Blades. I think it'd be fun. I think that's what it used to go a while back when Hail of Blades first came out, if you played Skarner, because it has like a ton of damage. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how that works out. I honestly want to see if we see any crazy keystones. I want to know if Solbert's going to go the lethality there, so we've seen so popular, if he's going to go the on hit. With the Corki, I definitely think he's going to go with the lethality, just to add that extra poke in there with the rockets, and especially with the team composition that he does have.
Not to mention just having that extra wave clear helps immensely. I mean, On hit Varus is a potential too, because there are a lot of tanks to shred with his Blight passive, not to mention a Blade of the Ruined King, but I too am kind of leaning towards this is most likely a lethality Varus we're gonna see here, Lemons.
Yeah, it's just so strong. It has so much strength, and there's just nothing you can really do about it. And it's going to be a very volatile early game for both of these teams, and how they want to play that out is going to dictate how quickly this game goes. But since we did have a little bit of a technical difficulties, we are going to send it to a small break while we get through everything and get through spectator delay for you. But right on the other side, we have game 2 between SmonkerZ and Excalibur Eternal. Be right back here.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear, driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear, like an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no, hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no, keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 2 of SmonkerZ versus Excalibur Eternal here in your Dominate Premade Week 9 matchup. We are on to Summoner's Rift. Again, not going to see anything too crazy starting us off here. More than likely just a nice 5-point line of scrimmage.
One thing that is crazy, though, this game is that Skarner top lane here for Excalibur. Blustic's rocking the Skarner pick, and it's definitely a huge point of intrigue in this draft because he went for the Aftershock and he started with that Sapphire Crystal, so probably going to get that early Sheen and just aim to be super tanky than any sort of duelist, I would assume, unless we see a Triforce first. I don't know.
I mean, I just feel like it's so thought out here, Gopher. Like starting off with the Sapphire Crystal as well, like that's just not a typical start for a Skarner that you would think. And then even going with the Aftershock for the little extra damage, taking the TP and the Flash, not going to go with any of those like fighting summoner spells or anything like that. So I'm honestly really intrigued right now.
One thing I do know about the Skarner top, though, is watch out for level 6, because that is an absolutely massive spike once he gets that ultimate. Because all you have to do is use that Impale on your enemy laner, drag him under tower, I believe, and it's usually a free-ish kill, even if you are kind of behind, even if you are going a bit tankier, because that tower does add a lot of damage. And of course, even if you aren't near that tower, you can use the Impale to set up for ganks, because you drag them all the way back, and then Mowgli the cat uses the bear flip to flip Polar Bear Minion on over. That is going to be a lot of distance cover that Polar Bear Minion can't really get back.
Yeah, and we already saw Mowgli really do a lot of good on this Volibear pick last game, and so expect a little bit of the same coming out of there. Meanwhile, the bot lane gonna have to see if Solbert has what it takes to put some pressure on Rando Joe this game.
It's gonna be a little different this game because Cage is at the range disadvantage this time around, so he is gonna be eating up more poke this time around compared to the last game where he wasn't really eating anything aside from the stray tongue lash every once in a while. Granted, it shouldn't be too terrible because he does have that free magic damage shield and that naturally high magic resist. So /1 Andy gonna be doing some reduced damage. We will have to see though.
Well, he definitely will, as the bomb's gonna land here on Cage. That's gonna be the double stun or double bomb into the stun. But Chaperone in mid lane, Bodkill going at it again. Very, very low are both of them, but Bodkill gonna get a little bit lower than the Chaperone in that trade.
And Bodkill actually going for the fleet of footwork this game rather than the electrocute we typically see on Corkis nowadays, which is striking to me because you figure he'd want that electrocute, especially for that early trading power against the Chaperone. Because fleet of footwork, it doesn't really give you the most sustain in laning phase as a ranged character. Top lane, very hard trade actually.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful. Jackie Chan is here. The slow is not gonna land. Blustix does have some good stuff there with the fancy feet. That's going to be the Rolling Thunder. Haymaker is going to land, though. That's going to be Blustix going down. It's so close. The fight, the first blood going over to Blustix, turning it around and just getting the nice little slap to the face to Polar Bear Minion.
And the volley passive coming in so clutch for Mowgli there. It kept him alive, and Jackie Chan just not able to finish either of those low health members off. Might have spoke too soon. Blessing's actually just going to be able to get to his tower, so I spoke too soon yet again. A double soon.
So, go Frino. 4 flashes burned, and they all have like the exact same cooldown. I find that absolutely hilarious.
It is going to be a fun time, because with neither the top laners having flash, that is going to be very deadly for any ganks that do come. Especially when there's an impale, especially when there is that showstopper, and there is a lot of potential for ganks in this top lane now.
I got a couple points here. First point I want to make is Solbert is going the on-hit Varus. He's not going the lethality. He picked lethal tempo, which typically leads to the on-hit Varus, unless it was a mispick. The second thing, Blustix just walked all the way back to tower because he still had a little bit of a priority in his lane, keeping his TP while Polar Bear Minion used theirs. So that means that there's a TP advantage in the top lane. Level 6 is coming up pretty soon. Could we see a deep ward on the bot side to try and get a pick?
That is a potential here, because if /1 Andy is caught up by that impale, he kind of can't really chrono break Solbert or himself to get out of any ganks or TP flanks, I guess, in that case. And of course, with the dragon spawning up right now, it could lead to some early dragon prio if they do get a good fight off a 5 versus 4 or 4 versus 3 with that teleport. But that is a future thing, and we're not going to see the results of that for at least another 2 or 3 minutes, I feel.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a slow but steady burn. Looking to just get
Oh,
some items, but I have to see what they want to do here on the bot side. Going to get stunned up is Cage. Going to take some good damage from the bomb as well. /1 Andy able to put that work in. Solbert and Rando Joe just trading away.
just that is the range differential. Not I mentioned /1 Andy with that movement speed boost on the Zillion does help a lot since he can no longer do the flash taunt on Galio that was removed quite a while ago now, actually. Not to mention the the Justice Punch does have a very long windup. So if it's not done from a bush, it is kind of easy to dodge if you're on top of your game, or at least a decent distance away. You're probably not dodging a point blank one. But with that being said, though, it has been fairly calm around the map ever since that craziness in the top lane we saw early on.
Yeah, I mean, the mid lane, the bot lane have been just farming away. They're pretty even in CS. It's mostly the top lane that we've seen a lot of fights. Showstopper already coming through, though. Blustic's going to have to be careful, as that's going to be a lot of damage. He's looking to bait the Impale, though, for sure, as you definitely think Polar Bear Minion wanted to continue following that, but maybe thought better of it because of that Impale.
Because you don't want to get hard baited too much, because even though, I mean, Polar Bear Minion, the set is decently tanky, don't get me wrong. Granted, it is still early on, but if you get impaled and pulled under that tower and eat 2, maybe even 3 shots, you're probably not winning that one, Chief. So just wisely backing off. And Earth Dragon actually picked up here for SmonkerZ. They are going to be enjoying that one very much. Just free little bit of extra resists, never hurt anyone.
Yeah, and Jackie Chan just slowly taking that by himself, was able to secure that dragon for themselves, and just going to go back into the farming style of the Olaf jungle. So that's one thing I've seen so far is Polar Bear Minion hasn't really been using the Haymaker to the best of their ability, unfortunately. Every time I see the Haymaker being used, there's no grit on the set, or very little.
Like, it's understandable if you want to use a low grit one, if you're just trying to get a little bit of wave clear going on, or just get lane in a more favorable position. Basically, if you're just using it to get minions. But in terms of trading, not exactly the best. So I do agree on that. Polar Bear Minion, he does have to do a much better job of managing this grit.
But we'll have to see how that plays out here. Big wave being pushed into Blustic's. Going to be able to get mostly all of it here as we see a reset having come through for the bot lane.
If I can interrupt you here for a second, Lemons, I actually just kind of really want to point this out. Look at the Bod Kill's inventory. He has the pickaxe and a sapphire crystal. So we might actually see a man-immune Corki this game.
Yeah, it could be a very secure pickup there for Corki. Just going to be able to have that extra mana. But yeah, going to be in a bit of trouble is Mowgli the cat. Package comes out. That's going to be Mowgli going down very low. Actually, the regen is there, though, and the return of the Mega Inferno Bomb did so much damage. Ezreal with the true shot. It has the range. Oh, it's going to hit some, but not going to pick up any kills there. Rando Joe able to get a little snipe across the map, but not going to pick up any money for it.
Just, it was a relatively free ultimate, though. Just why not? Especially if you're not planning on doing anything in the bot lane anytime soon with it, because it is going to be a little hard to engage on the Zillion Varus lane as is the Rando Joe and Cage lane. There's the chains.
Oh, chains are going to come down. That's the on-hit Varus. Doesn't have the damage right off the bat. That's going to be the turnaround, though. Cage going to be getting very low. Bomb is going to proc there. Ignite as well. That could just be it. He doesn't have any shielding. He's going to pop the potions. It's working, and it's going to save him by just a smidgen. One thing I did want to point out is I don't know how I like the on-hit Varus into this comp. I feel like the lethality Varus would be putting work into this Ezreal. And so far, you saw in that trade, yeah, Solberg was able to get like 3-4 shots off, but it really didn't do any damage. And you don't have the follow-up of the
Jackie
Q
Chan's coming
afterwards.
top.
Showstopper is going to be used on the Blustics, but the stun comes out and he just gets right away. Oh, should not have walked back, should have kept going. Blustics going to be in some trouble flashing forward. Ragnarok going to be popped there a bit early. Trying to stop the stun and the slows just to be able to catch him. Going to get out is Blustics.
Yep, and to go back to your point in that bot lane, I definitely agree, because while the on-hit Varus, it isn't terrible in this situation. I mean, it is going to be that much more consistent damage for team fights, and just giving you that much more threat is always nice. But the lethality Varus would be much better in this situation, and I feel, because you'd have that early lane domination to really bully this Ezreal while he's trying to stack that tier and just sitting on that and a Sheen, because Ezreal with tier and Sheen, he doesn't really have any damage unless he starts getting those Sheen proc Qs on you. And I mean, as lethality Varus, if you already have that Dirk, you're just charging up that Q and hitting him every once in a while, and it's gonna add up. Especially since Cage on the Galio doesn't have any innate sustain tools like a heal or anything. So, but that is gonna be the Riftail bot lane.
It is indeed, and they're looking to take this tower as much as the tower as they can, try to get those plates. Are they going to stay in range? Yes, they are. Nice little gold sack be put into each one of their respective
Jackie
pockets.
Chan.
Yeah, gonna have to see though. They're gonna have to get out. Oh, they want to go in the re-engage, but that's Rando Joe going on the backside. You got to run. Cage has to flash out. Mowgli the cat going to get out as well, but Rando Joe got sniped.
Yeah, and just a little too aggressive on the re-engage there. I'm gonna guess that Excalibur didn't know where Jackie Chan was, and they thought it was a 3 versus 2, but that is gonna be very costly with that Infernal coming up in 20 seconds. Cage gonna see Jackie Chan. Should be able to get out of this one, although we might see a dive in the bot lane. There is that Chrono Break available for /1 Andy.
Now, TP is coming down here in the bot lane. Got to be very, very careful, as that's going to be 4 members down here against Excalibur, but they're going to go ahead and pull out. Dragon's coming up pretty soon, and wanted to kind of reiterate on that difference between the on-hit and the lethality. I think the on-hit is good outside of lane, but for winning that lane and the way that you wanted to try and push them, the on-hit would have helped you so much. But later on, it's definitely going to be nice. Jackie Chan going in, that's going to be able to be caught out. The res coming through, though, the follow-up showstopper onto Rando Joe. He has to get out of there. Ezreal doesn't have a lot of health. He is going to have to go towards the enemy tower, though, as a true shot barrage coming through. Ziggs able to pick up a double kill. It's a 1v3 with Mowgli the cat. He's going to pop his passive.
Oh,
almost gets taken down, but turns into a triple kill for the Chaperone. And he is on fire again in this game number 2. Mega Inferno Bomb's going to come through. That's going to be a secured kill for Blustics. Mowgli the cat's going to be super low. Wanted to get the chomp. Not going to be able to, as the bot kill is looking to get out.
But a 4-4-3 in the favor of Excalibur there, and it started off a little bit ugly for them when they weren't able to finish off Jackie Chan in time before /1 Andy got there, but able to pull through in the end. Mowgli the cat just tanking up so much damage in the back, and the Chaperone, he's doing so much damage already on this Ziggs. Just good lord. And the Volibear passive, it is the most troll thing ever, Lemons, because we saw that fight. Mowgli, he should have died, but it just started ticking, and then he didn't. So
yeah, he had no health left. That Varus arrowed so close to picking up that kill, and Solberg really, really wanted that as well. But 3-0 for both the mid laners here. Feeling pretty good on both sides, actually, but Skarner slowly and surely making his name known on the top side. Is going to be picking up that Trend Force here pretty soon. Actually can go back and get it just about 50 gold from now. But second dragon is going to be picked up, and that's a stark difference from game number 1, where Excalibur were completely controlling the objectives, were completely controlling the dragons, and now you don't even see contests coming out from them.
And part of that reason game 1, oh, there's a package in the mid lane. Bot kill.
Might want to be careful there. This is Ziggs going to go. Oh, man. I love the fact that they're just using each other's towers. That's going to be picking up that kill. Blustics going to be taking down the Polar Bear minion up here. Oh, it's going to be close. The region! The Haymaker! Polar Bear minion pulling out the fight.
Yeah, that's just Conquer healing for you, because Ballistix, he was so close to getting it, but Polar Bear Minion able to constantly get those ticks of healing off to keep himself alive. Oh, Mowgli might find Jackie Chan here.
Could probably take him though. He does have a level lead. Isn't going to fight it though. Just walks away from each other. They exchange one auto attack. Just saying hi.
Yeah, kind of interesting. I thought Mowgli could have taken that because Jackie Chan was already at about 70-ish% health. Sure, he gets a lot more attack speed and does more damage when he's lower health. Oh my god, that's a whiff.
Oh, Solbert, that was a bit rough. True Shot Barrage gonna come through. Not gonna land either. So I guess both ultimates whiffed. Works out.
Chan is walking bot lane, it looks, on this Olaf, though, so we might see some more come of it. Granted, I don't know how well that's going to work out without that chain of corruption, because you kind of need that.
Yeah, you definitely want that available when your jungle shows up to help you out.
There's the all-in.
Yeah, here
Mega
it goes.
Inferno.
They're going to try to go through. Mega Inferno Bomb's going to land. Not going to get the damage off, though, as now it's going to Q coming through. Cage gets very, very low. Is going to die to the bomb. And Solbert pulling out the kill. What a crazy back and forth.
So close, but Solbert able to stay barely alive thanks to all those movement speed boosts from the heal, from the Zillion. Oh, Jackie Chan.
Chaperone's going to be in some serious trouble here. He does use the nice little blast charge to get a little bit away, but not going to go down. That's going to be a shutdown of 800 gold going over to Jackie Chan. Feeling pretty good.
That is a lot of money. And not going to be able to get much else off of it. Not even getting any tower damage. Ballistix and Minion.
Showstopper, flash forward from Polar Bear Minion, but it's going to get dragged into the tower. That's going to be one tower shot. That's going to be a kill. Haymaker's going to come through. Ballistix trying to take him down. That region is insane. Every time we think Ballistix is going to be able to pull out the kill, he just doesn't have the damage to follow it up.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with the new Blade of the Ruined King. We're seeing so many champions take in the top lane after the buffs to melee damage with it. It's just adding so much extra sustain because they're already taking Conqueror. And then you add the Blade of the Ruined King lifesteal on top of that. It is so hard to get through them if you're like this Garner and you only really have like those consistent smidgens of damage with Triforce procs with your constant Qs. And it's just not enough to get through it if you don't have that burst or any sort of healing reduction. 3-stack mid here, though, for Excalibur. Gonna be sniffed out, though, with that word from /1 Andy.
Yeah, gonna be able to get that spotted out there. Dragon coming up in about 1:30. It is gonna be the Cloud Soul for this game, so not the most coveted Dragon Soul, but still very strong one either way. And especially with some of these ultimates, can work out very, very well for you. As we're gonna see the mid tower get burned down just a bit. Not gonna be taken down just yet, though, as a bit of lull state going on here in the mid game.
One thing to point out, though, with the Cloud Soul this game is that it's actually kind of huge, because if you look at the engage from both sides, I mean, imagine that extra movement speed on Jackie Chan's Olaf or on Mowgli the Cat or Ballistix. So we might actually see a decent amount of contention around this Cloud Soul, potentially. We will have to see.
Got the blast charge in there, but the change of corruption going to go through as well. That's going to be a lot of damage down on Chaperone. He's going to go down. That's going to be the Impale. That's going to be the Corki. Getting ulted, though, is going to not go down, as that's a bit of a wasted ult from the Zillion, but the follow-through is here. And, man, it is going to be SmonkerZ taking that fight with one kill, and now they're going to use the Rift Herald in the mid lane, try to take this tower.
Yeah, Sponkers just really punishing the over-aggression from Excalibur, because Excalibur, they're trying way too hard to get that mid tower. They're like, we have to get this. Come on, it's an absolute huge thing to pick up, and sure it is. They are going to trade their mid laner's life for it, and also priority over this spawning dragon. Chaperone immediately teleporting in once he spawns. He is sitting on 2 items, though, as the Ziggs, the Leandries and Ludens, can be very devastating in the team fight.
Yeah, just can't get caught out early on like you did that time around. Dragon is up here. You do see Mowgli the Cat heading down this way with Rando Joe and the Chaperone. Gonna spot out Polar Bear Minion here, but we are going to have a great fight here, I'm sure, around this Dragon Pit.
Ballistix does also have the teleport to join his team, so getting free work done on this top tower. And if you look at the ward, Solbert and Bodkill just... Oh, Cage.
Yeah, gonna go all the way Going to be able to get some damage out. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to go down on the Soulbird. Top tower is taken, but they do have TP if they want to come contest this, but I don't
Dragon's
believe
just
so.
gone.
Yeah, that's going to just be a dragon taking 2-shot barrage, going to come through a bit late on the side of Rando Joe. And that is soul point here for SmonkerZ.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like Excalibur, that's kind of a bit of missed chance because they were posturing around it, and Chaperone even used his teleport to try and contest it, but in the end, they just kind of give up that dragon for free. And now soul point here for Sponkers. That is a very huge power point for them.
Yeah, it definitely is. And they've been doing a very, very good job of controlling the dragon pit so far in this game. Definitely being on the red side helps you just a bit to have that open side of the Baron pit, or the dragon pit itself. But still working out very, very much in their favor. Polar Bear Minion doing very well in this set as well. And just looking for a little bit more. You see Chaperone a little bit out, getting the Raptors here, getting a little bit extra gold, stealing away Jackie Chan's farm. And everybody's just kind of waiting for the next thing to happen. Very reactive plays here so far.
Yeah, not too surprising because there is a zillion on Smonker's team, so that's very reactionary, and anything you try to do that's proactive, I mean, Zillion just kind of counters it with the Chrono Shift. And on the other side, it's kind of hard to push into that Ziggs, and that kind of denies some proactivity too here. So game just kind of stalling out. But I do feel like it does favor Sponkers in this situation because they do have that double 80 carry, and they're both scaling up as this game goes on.
Yeah, they definitely are. Jackie Chan just going to be farming up his red buff. You see some vision going around the Baron pit here. Gonna have to see if they want to make anything happen with it. I don't expect either team to really start up that Baron anytime soon, really. But it's going to be Cage getting caught out here. Jackie Chan looking to go in on to him, but he's going to have to get out. Chains of Corruption going to land on Chaperone. That's, again, going to be him getting caught out here. That's the heroic entrance coming through, though. Mowgli the Cat's going to be able to take down the Zillion, though. On the backside, he's going to go down. It's the 1v1 in the bot side, though, going in favor of Polar Bear Minion. Blustix cannot do anything to the set at this point.
Yeah, because, I mean, with all the regen we mentioned earlier, not to mention now with that Negatron cloak building towards that wit's end, that's going to negate so much of Blustix's damage here. Sure, Skarner does a fair amount of physical damage, but he does also do a large portion of magical damage as well. Still able to at least chunk out Polar Bear Minion. It's just in those...
He's going to get him! That's going to be it! The outplay. So what he was doing the entire time was he was waiting for the grit to go down, but at the same time he was waiting for his Trend Force procs to come back. So he really outplayed that one there, but he's going to get caught out.
Look at this Baron rotation, though, from Excalibur. This might
and
just
he flashes out, he gets out, and they're going to try and take the Baron here. Everybody's scrambling.
So there's no smite to contest this. Granted, it is going kind of slowly, so... I got a little hyped up over nothing, but still. Props to Blustix, able to get out of that one and very wisely waiting out the grit, like you mentioned.
I'm surprised they didn't go for it right there.
I do think they could have. There might have just been a bit of concern of, hey, we're kind of not doing this fast enough, and we kind of don't want the potential of it getting stolen, even if there is no spite. I mean, you never know when a lone ability might take it. We have seen it before.
Yeah, we have indeed. As Skarn is going to go back to the side lanes here, but I expect the action to start picking up here. And we're 9-9. Very, very close game. Dragon Soul point in favor of SmonkerZ. Dragon is coming up in about a minute here, Gofrino. And Blustix going to go ahead and take the Spire right in front of it. They are heading this way, so you can expect there to be a big fight on our hands in just a minute or so.
Because you don't want to hand over that Cloud Soul. Because the movement speed I mentioned earlier, but also having 2 Cloud Souls worth of ultimate cooldown reduction is going to be massive for the Showstopper, for the Chains of Corruption, for, bit of an engage.
Yeah, I wanted to try and catch out the support in ADC. We're not able to. Chaperone's going to get a good amount of damage, actually. Oh my goodness! That has to come out. That is going to be Blustix going in onto the Zillion, again catching him out, but it's Ragnarok popped on the other side. Showstopper coming through as well as the package. That's a ton of damage. going down, but they have it back. As now Solbert's going to be caught out here by Blustik's going to have to flash over the wall. The Bod Kill's going to be the next one to fall here. If they can have the damage, the bite comes down. The damage is there. Double kill going over the cage. And that's going to be the denial of the soul.
Excalibur just knowing when to pick their fights there. They saw /1 Andy out on his own, able to catch him out. And even with the Chrono Shift revive there, I mean, he revived right into the Blustics, impaling him. So immediately that's one member out of the fight and just a scattered fight. Because at the end there, we saw Solbert. He's trying to come in and do something on this Varus because he wasn't able to do anything initially. But all he could do was get off 1Q, maybe an auto, and then he had to blow his flash to get over that wall. Absolutely disastrous fight coming out from SmonkerZ. But
it kind of started off. It started off with the pick. But then I guess the go button was pressed here for SmonkerZ, and all of a sudden you had Polar Bear Minion rushing in, going to get the big showstopper. Didn't really get much accomplished with it. And you had Jackie Chan running in behind with the Ragnarok pop super early, and it just kind of fizzled out very, very quickly in that fight.
I mean, there was potential in that. I think Polar Bear Minion, Jackie Chan, and Botkill were technically fine doing that. They were executing it well because we saw how much damage they're able to do with the package, with the showstopper, and then of course just Olaf naturally. It was a 3 versus 5, and it's a fairly even game. I don't care how well you play, you're probably not going to win that 3 versus 5 on even footing ground.
I definitely agree there, as they have grown their lead by just a bit, a little bit over 2K here. As the next dragon's going to be spawning in about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You have a Baron on the Rift. But, again, nobody going to start it.
The Chaperone just pinged his ultimate after using it. 44 seconds. So he probably has a 45-second cooldown on that Mega Inferno Bomb. And that means it's kind of at the point where he can use it freely to poke or just clear whatever minion wave he wants. And oof, if they get any more Cloud Dragons onto the Ziggs, that is going to actually be very annoying to deal with.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Rando Joe hitting those power spikes. Now you just saw that one Q was able to do almost a quarter of Zillion's health.
That is the power of having that fully stacked Man Immune and the Triforce working towards that Blade of the Ruin King. Although, kind of surprised we don't see an Executioner's Calling coming out right now for Rando Joe on the Ezreal, since it will do a lot against that Olaf, against that set, and against this Varus. And I want to say it technically reduces the healing from Zillion's ultimate, although I feel like it takes too long for the res to happen for the effect to actually happen. Oh, Solbert.
Oh, no. Chaperone's got to be careful. There's a lot of minions there. He's going to get change of question, but it's safe. That's a big ultimate used by Solbert. My goodness. /1 Andy getting exploded by the Chaperone. That just feels real bad. As now it's going to be a 4v3 here. Gonna have to see if they can secure this. It's very, very iffy. It's still about a 50-50 here if they can get in. Jackie Chan is not on the right area, though. He's gonna have to pop something to get in there. They don't want to continue the fight, but they're gonna go in onto Jackie Chan as they're looking to get some more poke. They stopped the Baron, though. I don't like this indecisiveness coming through.
Ooh, yeah, that's actually gonna suck quite a bit.
Because that means that you've delayed the Baron. Obviously, they're not going to contest it anymore, but you could have finished it and then moved on. But they do secure it either way, so they're able to get that big objective.
Yep, just later, which does kind of suck. And if you look in the bot lane, Polar Bear Minion was able to push up that minion wave even further. I do think it's fairly likely that this bot wave takes that. Oh, no, Matt a little too far out to take it, so it would have been a nice silver lining had Polar Bear Minion been able to get that bot tower with that push, because it would have kept that bot wave pushed out, made something for Excalibur to have to respond to and waste a little bit of their Baron time. Either way, though, Excalibur now firmly in the driver's seat of this game. Small globe lead, sure, at a roughly 4K, but with this Baron buff, they can really look to crack open the base.
Yeah, they definitely can. They still have something to worry about here, as they are one dragon from giving their enemy Dragon Soul.
Ooh.
It's a big Mega Inferno Bomb, already almost a quarter. Yeah, look at that cooldown going on the left of your screen. It's already a quarter of the way gone. Like, that is crazy. You literally can see the ultimate about to already be done.
That was
So,
also
go
that
ahead.
was also the edge point of the Mega Inferno Bomb, and the
Yeah.
bod kill does have a null magic mantle too for a little bit of magic resist. Still, that's like a third of his health, factoring in the Leandri's burn.
Yeah, it was huge. And Mega Inferno Bomb is back. Ready to go. Next time
And
they
it's
want to
gonna be
fight.
back even sooner once they get this next Cloud Dragon here for Excalibur. Because
If they get all 4, I don't know what to say. That's gonna be like a 20-second cooldown on one of the biggest damage ultimates in the game.
he's gonna just start throwing it out for Vision if we get to that point, honestly.
Right?
I hope Chaperone pings his ultimate again so we can see the cooldown, because I want to know just how low this goes. Like, I want to play Limbo, but with his ultimate cooldown.
How low can you go?
Jackie Chan, though, going in.
A little bit overzealous there, buddy, as I guess Polar Bear was in the backside. That's going to be Mega Inferno Bomb used. Showstopper as well. That's going to be the heroic entrance dodge, though. Stopped. That's a shutdown going over. Polar Bear Minion is doing all the work in the backline, but it's Rando Joe who is able to take down the set as Cage goes in. A bit of a little overreaction there to go all the way in. Rando Joe just slowly. Yep, that's going to be. I saw that coming from a mile away. Rando Joe looking for the save shift. Oh! He was so close.
Still, though, we saw just how much time Polar Bear Minion was able to stall there in the backline. It was so much regeneration on this set, and you kind of have to wonder where the grievous wounds are for the side of Excalibur, because that fight was almost even there, a 1-for-1, if it wasn't for that little cheeky Ezreal Q at the end there from Rando Joe to get /1 Andy. Still, though, that is cracking open the base with the Baron buff and furthering this Excalibur lead.
Yeah, and they are able to do a lot. Again, Rando Joe in the backside of that fight, yes, he was taken down about half health, but besides that, didn't get touched, and he was just going to work. I think that health came off of him from that showstopper initially, but the huge flank from Polar Bear Minion kept them occupied for so long. But on the other side, it was Blustix just able to tank up so much damage. And just what a fight, honestly, from Excalibur, able to pull apart a split fight and bring it all together at the end.
Yeah, very close there. But I just hovered over the Chaperone's ultimate. It is on a 30.8 second cooldown right now.
That is awful. And they still have 2 dragons potentially to get.
There are non-ultimate abilities with longer cooldowns than that.
That is absolutely nuts. And the amount of damage it does is what's bonkers to me. And it's just crazy. If you get hit in the middle spot, that's like 1,200 damage.
We saw what happened. /1 and
yeah,
70%.
It's just nuts. Now you see 5-man stack in the red side jungle here for SmonkerZ. They're looking for this tri-bush situation again. Last time it didn't work out for them. /1 and he needs to be careful not to get blown up. Here it goes. And Mega Inferno Bomb, why not? Doing so much damage, as well as be followed up. That was almost a kill right there. That combo, the Mega Inferno Bomb with the True Shot Barrage, is deadly, as they're going to continue to push this top lane here, try to get these towers. Bot lane tower did get taken down. Blustix needs to be responded to, but he's going to be able to take him down. Now you've got the damage. Now you've got the health. Polar Bear Minion, you got to run, as that's going to be so much strength coming out. Yep, that's just going to be Polar Bear Minion. Here comes the Impale. That's going to be a ton of damage. The suppression right when the Haymaker was available. What an outplay coming through from Blustix, and they are just going to continue pushing this. This could be a lot given over.
Yeah, and the game's just swung so heavily in Excalibur's favor.
Too. He doesn't even care. He's got the Trent Force. He's Skarner, baby. Chad Skarner. Oh, Chains of Corruption is going to land. He's going to turn back onto Solbert, though. Ooh, not going to be able to. Here it comes. There's a bunch of damage. Heroic Injury's going to come through. That's going to be the outplays again. But he gets taken down. It's going to be the Ragnarok Olaf against the unfortunately unmanned Cage, who goes down. That's big shutdowns across the board. Olaf picking up a big sack of gold for both of those kills.
And those are not exactly some kills you want to hand over to the enemy team. Blustix getting a little cocky there on the Skarner, but that is kind of the power of the Death Stance now on this Garner, because we're talking about all the sustained Polar Bear Minion had earlier this game. Well, now Blustix has basically the same thing with that Death Stance, because it just gives him so much free damage reduction thanks to the resistances, thanks to the technically delayed damage, and then, of course, with all the sustain to help power through that. It's just kind of evened out these trades.
So I see one thing that got me a little. Okay, he decided not to. Jackie Chan was headed toward the top lane. We have Dragon coming up in about 20 seconds. I was like, that is not the place you want to go, Olaf.
Let me show top real quick. Yeah. It's like when the AD carry shows up bot lane right when everyone's dancing around Baron.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's just take this fight. Why not?
Let's just take this Baron. Cloud Dragon, though, is spawning right now. Will be the 4th one of the game in total. Jackie Chan finds Cage.
Yeah, gonna have to be careful. Here comes the showstopper again. Rando Joe's gonna have to get out of there. He's aggroed the Dragon, though. Ton of damage going down. True Shot Barrage is gonna pick up that kill. Now it's on the backside, though. The rest of the tanky members. It was kind of a split fight. Now it's the ADC v ADC on the other side. Rando Joe getting the outplay with the nice little fancy feet there and the golden hour. As Jackie Chan and the Bod Kill are going in now, trying to get the kill on the Blustix. They are going to have so much damage. Rando Joe just able to pull down the damage here. Bod Kill is going to go down. That is an ace. That is a 3, 4, 5, and a TP into the base. This could be it. This could be the game, and this could be Excalibur taking this series.
Yeah, 15 more seconds till /1 Andy is back up, and that's just the support. He's probably not going to be able to stop these double supers already barreling in. That's both Nexus towers down already before he's even back. And that's just going to be a 2-0 now for Excalibur.
Didn't even need the soul, they said. Just needed the extra cooldown for that Mega Inferno Bomb as it got down to about 30 seconds. And that is just broken, if you ask me. But 23-16, it is Excalibur who take the series and win a wonderful series of games that they just dominated in, as this second game was a lot closer. The early game did not go their way, but they were able to pull down the macro plays. The team fights went in their favor, and they were just able to pull it out.
Yeah, because there's a point in this game where it looked like SmonkerZ were firmly in control of the game. Sure, it wasn't a massive lead, but they did have the tempo control, and they did have the scaling advantage since they do have that double AD carry. But game just kept going on, and we saw some crucial fights go in the way of Excalibur, especially around that Dragon Pit. And once they started getting those clouds, or those cloud buffs, oof, like 30.8 seconds on the Mega Inferno Bomb when he's got 8 kills and all that CS. Oh my god. I actually want to see how much damage he put out on the Ziggs, because it's like, 30.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, it's
high.
Huge. Yeah, and even had the admission that he used his ultimate to clear the Raptors once. So that just shows you how much damage it did and how usable it was. 30-second cooldown. Why not?
I wanted to see him get those 2 more Cloud Dragons. I wanted to see
I
some 20-second Mega Inferno Bomb. Because that would have just been Herbo meme. Just like, know what? It's like a blue trinket. Except damaging.
Yeah, for sure. Now, great game overall. I wanted to ask you, who do you think the MVP would be here in this series?
Chaperone.
I agree. He just had such a great game in game 1. Rando did too. Rando actually had a very good game in game number 2 as well. But I think that it was 100% Chaperone who just played so strongly in both games.
Because game 1, we saw him be the playmaker, and in game 2, he was a bit of the game saver with just how much time he was able to stall out. And he kind of transformed into a bit of an assassin towards the end of the game, because one ultimate from the Chaperone doing 70% of someone's health, sure.
Yeah, why not? Well, with that being said, this series is over. It was Excalibur Eternal taking the win over SmonkerZ in a 2-game win spree in this best of 3. But with that, we are going to send it over for the rest of the night here for Dominate Premade. I do believe there is Champs League tonight, but that is going to be it from me, Lemons, as well as Gopherino and Travis in the producer section. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. It was an absolutely fun day of games, and we hope to see you next time on Summoner's Rift.
Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud.